Welcome to Lights in the Night, the show that is exploring the unknown, one light at a time. Hosted by Russ Johnson, Dana Sardano, and Max Duckworth. We're talking UFOs, alien life, and the mysteries of the cosmos. Is anyone out there? We're looking for answers. Come join us. The lights are on and the night is calling. Lights in the night. It's time to shine a light on the darkness. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Lights in the Night. I'm Max Duckworth. I'm joined by Russ Johnson and Dana Sardano. And we are back talking about disclosure. It is the big topic this week and this month and this year. And Russ, what do you have to say to the viewers about disclosure?
Well, we were talking earlier, but Dana, she is keeping up lately with people doing the congressional hearings and everybody talking, Joe Rogan talking, and we talk about some of that. People becoming alive with this, huh?
You know, I wonder sometimes if it's just my algorithm on social media.
No.
But my husband's sending me stuff now, and he is completely off of that track. So the fact that he's seeing it too tells me the mainstreaming. Right. But I'm seeing people like, and I was telling you earlier, people like Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar. Exactly a year ago this time, he was on his show, and now you're seeing Daryl Anka more the circuit that is outside of Gaia.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm seeing that mainstream. So that's one piece. Another piece that I'm seeing is people like, and I may butcher some names because I'm not that familiar with politics, forgive me, but Tim Burchett, which I'm pretty sure is a congressman, and Anna Luna something or other.
Yeah.
She also, and they are out there saying that they've had firsthand interactions with people in the military in the know, talk about our government reverse engineering downed spacecrafts. Ooh. And also, and I didn't mention this earlier, I'm only remembering it now, Matt Gaetz.
I know Matt Gaetz.
He had somebody firsthand in the military, like somebody high-ranking, telling him that the government has an underground hybrid program that beings that were in these crafts that survived, that they are
working with.
Mating. This is a sign for mating, by the way. They are with humans creating hybrid species.
Oh yeah. Well, that's got to be going on for hundreds of years.
So that's going on now. That's going on here. On Earth.
Well, what they
cool.
A lot of things happen in that arena. I mean, so much. But one of the things that they do the seeding program. Yeah. Because they take the hybrids. Yeah. You know, and well, the mating program goes on.
The mating.
Yeah. And they take some of those hybrids and put them on other planets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and
on the moon, other places. Yeah.
Yeah, and also what Matt Gaetz, like we're friends.
Right.
He was saying that these. I think it was actually Daryl Anka that I saw saying it. There's so much information. I kind of one bleeds into the next. But he was saying that a lot of these hybrids that grew up on spaceships or that were kept underground are now being integrated into society. And because they look different, like he was describing, like they don't necessarily have ears. He used some sort of scientific name. They got like little ear folds. But the faces, let's just say if you mix like a gray, we all can visualize what a gray is, you know, the take me to your leader types. And a human, you could tell that they're not really human, but they're not super weird looking where they've got like, you know, feathers and like a trunk coming out of it. Like they're like humanoid. But he's saying like, because they're so highly intelligent and highly gifted, you'll find them in like science programs doing science research, sort of like kind of behind closed doors in the medical community. But now as disclosure starts to happen, they're going to start, what was said was they're likely going to be the first to be brought to the people. So when we have disclosure and people finally have to admit and face that this is what's happening, the first beings that will be brought are the hybrids. Okay, here's your hybrids. Yeah. And then like, here's your Pleiadians because they're tall and beautiful and are appealing. And then
the reptilians and insectoids and all that.
But those will come later because they're weird and scary to us.
Yeah,
so
right.
How do they know though that all this, if it hasn't officially been disclosed, how do these people know all
because
this stuff is going on?
They do the research. They've been doing the research.
Well, where, like, because a regular person can't just research,
They can.
Really?
If you go to watch television, Gaia and...
and that's before I met you guys, I didn't know what Gaia was.
No,
it's a channel, right?
Trust me. I had a whole list. There are at least 50 different programs on television today. Ancient Aliens, Beyond Belief, Linda Mutant House, she has one, Truth Hunters. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Even the psychics and even the mediums and even the people who do healing, all of them have programs.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of programs. I made a list of about 50.
Oh, cool.
At least 50 programs. So if you go and watch that instead of the 30-second rerun of the Killigan's Island, so
Yeah, we should get that out to the viewers. That would be such a good resource for people.
Ancient Aliens was my favorite for years.
Right.
Isn't that how you?
That's how Rob. That's how my husband and I. We would do Friday nights, hang out, and watch Ancient Aliens.
Ancient Aliens
well,
and chill.
Yeah, chill, totally.
Here's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Billy Carson, of course, and
Yeah.
you know, Stephen Greer.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but and on and on and on. So, especially Billy Carson, when he talks about the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
And how they came in 400,000 years ago, and Inky and all that. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No.
All right. Okay. So, can you imagine when the truth comes to Earth? And they said, all the Bible stories, all the religions, all fake.
Freak.
Yep, they were made up by us to keep us controlled, right? How do you think people are going to handle that? See, when we do research today, at least 100 million Bibles are being sold every year. Okay, that's 100 million.
We're going there, Russ. We're going there.
We're going
out with a bang.
Yeah, we got to go there. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
What do you think people are going to do? What do you think? What do you think the ministers in the churches and the Seventh-day Adventists, the Catholic Church? What do you think they're going to do?
So I've actually given this some thought.
Okay.
I think you're going to have two main schools of thought on this. You're going to have those that are going to adjust scripture to fit this.
Okay.
Oh, when Jesus said blah blah, it meant this and that, and it includes these extraterrestrials.
Okay.
Angels, we understood, were a part of and what was the wheel of? Was it the wheel of Ezekiel?
Yeah, right.
You know, that was really a spaceship, and we understood that, and so I think that there's those, and then you're going to have those that are calling it the end of days, and they're going to go off the rails. And so we're going to have a lot of people, as the new age types would say, are going to go off planet as a result of this. I think that there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be able to handle the news. Not to be grim.
Right, no, but it's the truth. Because I happen to go back one more time to 1938 when Orson Welles did that radio show.
Yeah.
You know, War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
And everybody panicked. And that's why they...
Oh, that's right, the off-planet. Off-planet.
Yeah. and they shut it down. They said, stop, you can't do that anymore. That's 1938. And then the CIA came along in 1953 and put out what they call the Robinson Report. They say, if we have aliens, don't tell the people. We don't want to frighten the people. Yeah. We don't want to get it.
But we're maybe ready for it now? Are we more ready?
Remember the little play the kids played, hide and seek?
Yeah.
Ready or not, here I come.
Okay, yeah.
I definitely think we are more ready. I think this new, the last, we'll say 40 years, there's been a turn. It's an interesting pendulum swing.
Sure.
There's been a turn away from organized religion
right.
because of a lot of the fear base, a lot of the control, but now, because of the craziness in the world, there's also kind of a swing back to a spirituality in religion because people are looking for something.
It's got to be a spiritual, another kind of a spiritual, like the law of one or something like that.
100%.
But it can't. It's not going back to what we've been told, the Garden of Eden and all that stuff.
I don't think
it's not going back to that story.
I think that is dissolving.
A few may hang on to that until they leave the planet.
Until they go, that would be terrible, terrible. But I do think that you're right. Like I always talk about this pendulum. So you had the pendulum of control, the old paradigms, the way everything, all the systems are, the medicine, the school system, the religious, all of that.
All of it's fake.
And now there's a destruction there. So we're going to go here where people are just trying to figure things out. But I think the pendulum's going to find its way back to the law of one, to unity consciousness, to people recognizing that, we might as well go there, that this Jesus Christ returning is really the return of a consciousness that is a Christ and unity consciousness.
Cosmic consciousness.
And I think people's level of awareness, it is expanding because it's forced to, because with the destruction of everything in the chaos, it forces people to look at themselves, look at what they believe, look at their neighbors, look at the world around them, and in that looking comes awareness, and in that awareness comes an openness to this new beliefs, this new way of being, right?
I always go back to the Bible, like 1 Corinthians, the first chapter, 1 through 13, though I speak with the tongues of men and angel and have not love for and on and on and on. And I go back to Luke 4:18, Jesus says, the Spirit of the Lord has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, recovering of sight to the blind, blah, blah, blah. So I go back to all of those. That's the essence, even of the law of one. Yeah, even of the law of one. Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, I cannot quote scripture the way you quote scripture. I'm not as familiar with the Bible, but any pieces that I have heard, that's not distracting, that I have heard or seen, I always can attribute the energetic, the way of looking at it that's not from fear and control, that's from love and unity.
Right.
And you could, but it requires, Russell, wouldn't you agree, Max, that if there's a dot here, and from your perspective and your perspective and my perspective, we all see the dot from a different angle. It doesn't change the dot.
No, of course not.
So all of the history and all of the scripture and all of the stuff that's out there, it's really about us changing our perspective and seeing it differently. And I think that that's what's happening now. I think that all of this information and all of this chaos is forcing us all to shift our perspective, to see the Bible differently, to see the history
and
differently.
See each other differently.
See ourselves differently.
Because when you talk about the Palladians or the Nordics or the Blue Avians, I mean they all won't even go to the shapeshifters, you know, or the insectoids. I mean, can you imagine a sectoid coming down the street and is 7 feet tall?
It'd be like walking into the bar on Star Wars.
So
it's going to take some time.
But of course, there's a segment of aliens who really hate human beings, you know, the Dracos, but we won't get there, I guess, today. Leave that alone for the day. Well, we got about a minute before we take a break. How do you see things? How do you look at all of this as we discuss this thing?
I appreciate the example of the dot, because I'm an artist and I love to draw, and so I take a lot of drawing classes, and so a lot of times the model will be in the center of the room, so everybody around the circle draws something different, a different version of the model. And so if we put all our drawings together, we could create a 3D model of the thing. And so it's like Gardenia, who we talked to on the phone, has a little piece, and you have a little piece from there. And if we could just put it all together, I really think we could understand what's going on and what we need to do. But gosh, it's like herding cats, it feels like.
There's a lot of information out there.
Yes, and it's hard to manage, because then you get somebody who's never even seen the model and they make a drawing which shouldn't belong in the 3D render, but it gets thrown in there because, I don't know, nobody realizes that.
Well, if anybody wanted to call in and may have a question, 888-994-4995.
Studio A. Yes.
Break time.
We'll see you after this commercial break, and thanks for joining us.
AMP Media Futures Foundation at Crazy Uncle Mike's for Caps Off for a Cause, where we help young adults fresh from graduation advance in the world of media production. With your donation, we can help graduates by giving them the training and skills needed to get a foothold in the media production industry. To participate, scan the QR code here to purchase tickets. Once you do that, you can enjoy a drink, have some light snacks, and potentially get networking opportunities. Caps Off for a Cause will take place on May 12th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., located at Crazy Uncle Mike's on 6450 North Federal Highway, Boca Raton, Florida, 33487. For further information, contact the AMP Media Futures Foundation through their email, phone number, or website as seen here. We hope to see you soon.
We're back, and the night is getting darker.
The lights are still on, and the truth is waiting. Stick with us.
More mysteries, more lights in the night.
Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us on Lights in the Night, and we are talking about disclosure and how the world is going to handle this new information that's really exciting. It's happening, and I don't think it's all bad. I don't think it all needs to be so scary, because maybe, can we talk about some of the exciting, is there going to be maybe new technology?
Well, of course.
What
Maybe
what are some of the fun things maybe we could
one of the things they might look forward to, especially you guys, right? Both of you, you probably live another 50, 60, 70 years or better, maybe 80 years, because the med bed is coming, the galactic chamber is coming. Oh. The med bed will change your body overnight, and as a matter of fact, if anybody wants to do any research on it, look at Sky Prince, SKYE Prince, and she'll explain it to you. You just Google her,
okay.
And she's been on 12 different planets working as a nurse, and she looks like she's about 50, but she's been
136.
More than that.
Right.
Yeah, she been regressed 3 times, 30 years each time. That's 90 years. So she's about maybe 160. Wow, but when you punch her up and look at her, and she'll talk about the med bed. So if you want to know, there's a lot about the med bed that's coming. That's coming to the planet, because there are about 6,000 different medical creations that they have to cure cancer, diabetes, ADH, whatever.
We have free energy.
Yeah, right, and they have cures for all of that, about 6,000 of them, but they won't let them, the big farm says you can't release them and give them to the people.
And that is why the government is trying to control this information. They're they have this technology.
Oh, absolutely. Talk about that a bit.
I do want to mention, just back to that whole age thing and the med bed. I used to work, I don't know if you know this, I used to work in a yeshiva, it's an Orthodox Jewish high school. I worked for, I worked with a rabbi, So, but one of the things that they would say is, on somebody's birthday, they would say it in Hebrew, but it was to 120 years. Everything was about living to 120. Right. And I would ask them about that, why do you say this? And they said, because back in the day, biblical times, everybody lived that old. Right. And I was okay, I didn't really understand, but it would make sense that back in the day, before things became corrupt, these technologies did exist, because in my opinion, I think in our opinion, we are seeded by extraterrestrial races. And there were civilizations prior to our civilization. So the technologies for advanced living and health probably did exist before it didn't exist.
Very much so.
Before it now will exist again.
Very much so.
You know what I mean?
And the people who also want to do some homework, I would say, punch a Billy Carson. Mm-hmm. And he has hundreds of thousands of listeners. He has done his homework on that. He's traveled the world about 68 times, grabbing materials and doing this, like Zachariah Sitchin's with the 12th planet and all that. So they have done all that homework. Yeah. And I would suggest do that homework before the aliens get here.
Yeah, be ready, be ready.
Right.
Have we ever talked about on air about Elizabeth April's,
Let's go
about
ahead.
her history?
Go ahead, talk about it.
Are you familiar? Like I would.
I
want to hear you tell it.
Well, at 3 years old,
Yeah.
and she's now about 30,
Yeah.
maybe a couple years older. But her father recognized that she could do telepathy, and she could do remote viewing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And he said, "Don't tell anybody you can do this now, but I'm going to help you develop." And he helped her develop, and now she's way out there. She can do astral projection. She goes to the Galactic Command.
Yeah.
And when I say the Galactic Command, there's a book called The Galactic Federation's Council by Michael Zeller. Right.
And that's my Aunt Xena. No,
Okay, all right. But she goes to the spaceships and she talks to them and comes back to bring us messages.
Yeah. So are you familiar with her recounting of the history
Go
of
ahead.
this work? You want me to share?
Please.
So listen, it's a telephone game. They tell two friends and so on. So I'm going to give you my version of it, but I encourage you to look up these.
She's the real deal.
She's the real deal,
She's the
and
real
it makes
deal.
sense to me. So here's what she's saying: hundreds of thousands of years ago, the reptilians, they resided on this planet.
Okay.
Now, they're not indigenous of this planet, but they came here and this was like their space. And then the Anunnaki showed up because the Anunnaki needed to mine resources for their planet,
Excellent.
specifically gold. So when the Anunnaki got here and realized how difficult it was, they're like, we need workers. And so there was like the Homo habilis, right? Remember, how we always talk about a missing link from like totally Homo habilis to Homo erectus to Homo sapien, and there's some sort of like missing link in there. So they took the ape-like creatures, they spliced their DNA with their own to create a slave race to help them mine their gold.
Oh, not cool. Never mind.
But they're assisting, like they're still a part of helping this race develop because they were helping them. Well, the reptilians who had stake in this land were like, hey, we don't like this very much. And they're like, you know what? Not only can you use them, the lights out, not only can you use them, but you can splice your DNA also. So they did that, and now they have this race growing. But what happened was the Galactic Federation was like, hey, you can't do that. But there a lot of the beings in the Galactic Federation, like your Pleiadians, your Arcturians, and some others, were like, we're going to splice our DNA also. So now we have the human race, and we look at ourselves as humans, but we have so much DNA within us from all of the...
At least 24.
I thought it was 22, but 24?
Yeah, 24, yeah. Some people say 22 and some people say 24.
23 and me.
Right.
So we have all of this DNA. So the thing is, and this is how I see it from the spiritual perspective, if I have this highly, highly vibratory ancestry, like I have the Anunnaki, which is super, super advanced, Pleiadian, super, super compassionate and advanced, Arcturian, super advanced, but I also have reptilian and it's all within me, then I make the choice as the human, and that's the beauty of the human. I could align with the fear and that reptilian DNA and align with that fight or flight or freeze sort of mentality, or I could align with compassion and love. And so we as humans, we always have the choice, and I think that that's why they, I call them, Galactic Federation and whoever else is assisting us, are so taken with us, because we have the combined genetics that no other species in this galaxy has.
That means basically in time when you are freed, from the pineal gland and all that, then they look at us like Elizabeth April said it this way. She said, hundreds of millions of years ago, there was a mystic who came along and said, one day an entity will be born that will be able to resolve the difference between light and dark, up and down, good and evil. And like Ephesians 6:20, Ephesians 6 was 23, I think it is. But anyway, she said, and they think it's us.
The prophecy planet.
Yeah, the prophecy planet. They think it's us, and so when we are free to use all of our abilities that we were born with, not being shut down. Talk about the pineal gland, how they shut us down. Talk about that.
And again, The third eye chakra,
Right.
the pineal gland right here in the third eye chakra, which is all about our intuition
Right.
and our
Creativity,
connectedness
yep.
and imagination. It's shut down through the poisons in
Yeah,
our food
food,
and the
yeah.
processed and the fluoride
Thank
and
you.
all of that.
Thank
It is
you. Thank you.
intentional. And it is, I just want to circle back real quick to we're all so excited about this idea of the prophecy planet.
Right.
You have this reptilian fear, right? And you have the light and the love, but also the light
Right.
is our intelligence. The love is our compassion. And you have the insectoids and some others that are strictly light. They're pure intelligence. There's little compassion. So they'll do the experiments, not out of evil, but they don't have that level of compassion. Then you have the angelics and the Pleiadians that
Right.
are all sorts of compassion. But as humans, because we have all this DNA, we have the ability to balance that intelligence and that compassion and bring harmony. And when we all do it individually, that's why I'm always about alignment, and I'm always talking this
Right,
stuff.
right.
Because as the individuals, if we could do that as humans and humanity could balance that light and love, then we become that prophecy planet.
Absolutely.
Because we are the only planet in the galaxy that is able to do that. And that's why the good ones, the light beings, are so invested in assisting us.
Yeah, because we've been so down on the dark end
In the
of
dark
it.
side.
Yeah, and now we able to come to the light of the day, right?
And who could
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah,
who
who can
could
do-
be in such turmoil like us and then still
Yeah.
bring it to the light? That's pretty impressive.
Right. Now you've written books on this.
I have.
Why don't you talk about the event for those people who are local and may come to the event on the 12th of
Crazy
next
Uncle
month?
Mike's.
All right.
right,
So
right.
May 12th, Tuesday,
Right.
Tuesday, May 12th, 5 to
5
7:30.
p.m. to 7:30.
The AMP.
Futures Foundation, AMP Media Futures Foundation.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, that's a mouthful. But the Futures Foundation, they're having a. Help me out here.
We're doing a fundraiser. Yes.
Words.
Yes. There's going to be live music, drinks, food.
Food.
Dana's going to be there.
I'm emceeing it because I'm so good with my words.
I'll be
but
there.
when-
Russ will be there.
Russ will be there. But here's why we implore you to go. Because not only is Uncle Mike's a super cool place to hang out. I was there once for the last.
Give me the
fundraiser.
address of that.
The
It's
Boca.
It's the federal.
It's on Federal Highway in Boca, just north of Yamato, a bit south of Linton.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's important to go because.
Oh, here we go. Yep.
because-
6450
Oh, we're reading it. I thought we were
North
holding it up.
Federal Highway.
But here's why it's so important, and I will get my words now. Here's why it's so important that you go. Because what Dawn and Freddie are doing here with these kids is really, I think, so forward thinking in this new way. We're talking about light and love, and we're talking about, the balance and harmony. They're not just teaching these kids skills. They're teaching them by humanness, by being human, and that's why I'm so excited to MC, because what I do, I work with people with personal empowerment and spiritual development, helping people become more aligned and release the fear and live in harmony, so they could receive whatever's coming our way with sovereignty. And that's what Freddie and Dawn are doing with these kids in their own way. Yeah, they learn social media, they have to do the social media stuff, and yeah, they learn how to use a camera and a soundboard and all of these things that I'm not even going to claim that I understand, but they also listen to them. They teach them collaboration. They encourage them to step out of their comfort zone so they can thrive. I watch them when they do the morning show, and I watch them interact with these kids, and I watch them when I'm here, and it's so unusual in any workforce, even in education. So when we watch all of these systems crumble, the educational system, it's crap, no offense teachers, but it's crap, it's crumbling. Government, it's crap, it's crumbling. But this AMP Media Foundation?
Yeah. So they really teach collaboration, consensus, and cooperation. So which is where we are going with the lights in the night. But that's the end of the day. So we have about 30
come check
seconds.
it out. We're 30 seconds, so come check us out. May 12th, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Crazy Uncle Mike's in Boca Raton. It's a great fundraiser. It's for a good cause, and you hear the word intern, and sometimes there's a bad reputation of somebody who's unpaid, just grabbing coffee, and that's absolutely not what goes on here.
They're making movies.
Kids learn, it's so cool.
And we'll be here next time.
Yes, see you.
Same place.
Yes, same time, same place.
I'm holding a QR code, so
Yes.
zap it and
Check
donate.
It out. See you there. Thanks for joining us. Have a good one.
The lights are fading, but the mystery remains.
Join us next time on Lights in the Night. Same time, same darkness.
Until then, keep looking up.
The night is watching.
Lights in the night, where the unknown illuminates.